Throughout the story of One Piece, Oda has shown us difficult islands to get to, like using the knock-up stream to reach Skypiea, or coding the Thousand Sunny to get to Fishman Island. So the final island of Laughtale needing 4 special road poneglyphs was not a surprise, and if anything, made sense since it was the final island on the Great Grand Line. There's also islands that are not that difficult to get to that have insane great lore, like Alabasta, with it being the only kingdom out of the 20 original kingdoms to stay in the Blue Sea, or Wano with its legendary samurai from Ryuma all the way to Kozuki Yoden, and finally the newest arc of Elbaf, with it being the place where war was born, the Island of Giants, and having a legendary giant like Joru, who passed away to Big Mama at age 344 years old, and Jaro, who lived to reach 400 plus years old. And these two were the original giant pirate captains, a profession that goes all the way back to Joy Boy, the first pirate. We also have Dory and Broggy, the giant pirate captains, now worth 1.8 billion berries each after ending their duel on the Lagarden for the meantime. And Hyruden, new giant pirate captain, a part of Luffy's Grand Fleet, and his brother Loki with a special bounty of 2.6 billion berries, and the strongest giant on Elbaf. All in all, when you have an entire island that has to team up to actually capture you, and you have tales of Shanks, yeah, you definitely are the strongest giant in my opinion, low-key. But I do must say this: Laughtale seemingly has to be more mysterious than people are truly discussing, especially when you tie into effect the One Piece being Joy Boy's treasure from the Void Century, and the lore of Lunarians who used to live on the Red Line to the Celestial Dragons who currently live on the Red Line. More specifically, Holy Land Mary Joas, led by Imu, Joy Boy's original op. That led to Laughtale being such significance, so I believe Laughtale is not as barren land as we think, and there is living beings on the islands, just how we met Yamato, Kongrasaki coding user who also has a Mythical Zone Delver ability on Wano, and the same way we met Loki, a Mythical Zone user, and there's definitely more on the table for that character on Elbaf. Expect to have some similar character on Laughtale. Yeah, that's right, the strongest character on the island. So like the video, subscribe for more content, for more in-depth One Piece content as we do a deep dive on Laughtale and what's actually on that island. Now, speaking of difficulties, when we finally enter the Grand Line by going past the Reverse Mountain, yeah, that was hard, and the Red Line, we meet the former doctor of the Pirate King's crew, Crocus, who only joined to try and find Brooks' crew so Laboon could go back home, and he explained to the future Pirate King crew, Straw Hat Pirates, the way of getting to the final island, Laughtale, and says the island is the stuff of legends. This is the same Crocus who has been to Skypiea, the island Bellamy laughed at during Jaya, and Blackbeard confirmed to Luffy during Pull Down the One Piece exists just like Skypiea existed. Crocus has also been to Fishman Island, where the original final road poneglyph the Strawhats have been looking for was. And a little side note, to me this confirms the man marked by flames is probably a former Roger pirate that is guarding the road poneglyphs until the man who Roger is waiting for comes, as Whitebeard alluded to during Marineford War, who specifically had a convo with Roger before his execution. But yeah, back to the main topic. I believe Crocus was the first man to foreshadow Laughtale, not just being the final island and having more to it than just the One Piece treasure. Now, Crocus does speak to Roger about the pirates they've been waiting for, and Luffy having a special air about them, meaning Crocus kind of confirms his ties to the Roger pirates early on in the story, and Oda did say he knows how the One Piece story ends. He's just filling in the missing pieces, which does fall in line when Oda said he didn't even know how to defeat Kaido. So yeah, expect Laughtale to surprise our expectations and not be a disappointment. We see Whitebeard reminiscing on his last convo with Roger, in which Roger offers to tell him how to get to Laughtale, in which he denies. I thought this was interesting because Roger is waiting for someone to flip the world upside down after finding the One Piece, but is willingly helping Whitebeard to go to see Joy Boy's treasure on Laughtale. He even tells Whitebeard all about the Willy D, and it makes sense. After the fall of Roxy Tebek, it was Roger and his crew who ran the pirate seas. And characters like Whitebeard, Shiki, Big Mom, to Kaido's rise, the success, and even Wang Ji running Pirate Island Beehive. All I'm trying to say is out of all those pirates I named, Whitebeard is the only one with both power and a good sense of justice. Speaking of justice and pirates, it's crazy, but you get what I'm trying to say. To make actual change if he made it to Laughtale. The man was literally Konkozaki coding, clashing with Prime Roger, while also having a adult fruit that could destroy the world. In Goku's words, not mine. And now the power is in the hands of the opposite man Roger wants to make it to Laughtale, Marshall D. Teej. And when Whitebeard confirmed Roger is not waiting for him, and a man will shake the world to its core once the One Piece is found, which we learned after Wano, it's Joy Boy, aka Luffy, who's the man Whitebeard talks about, and Luffy getting to Laughtale, we will see things that will shock us, and it's not just the One Piece treasure. I cannot wait. Now during Zou, Inarashi explains the red stone is a red poneglyph, which is meant to be a guide to the most powerful place men on the sea seek, in which Robin replies Raftel with a nervous look, and Inarashi confirms. Mind you, Oda has made most One Piece talk or treasure talk taboo up until this point. Even having Luffy almost mess up Usopp for asking really about the One Piece during Sabaody. It showed Oda really wanted us to start the versus Emperor saga with the end goal still in our mind of the One Piece treasure. We see the Straw Hats super shocked finding this information out, in which Inarashi quickly lets them know it's 4 road poneglyphs, not just the one on Zou. Of course, we see Luffy saying it's 4 Raftales, in which Inarashi quickly explains the 4 road poneglyphs show 4 locations, and Laughtale is in the middle island. Only the Pirate King's crew has reached this over the centuries. This to me also makes me think of those 4 locations. There is no civilizations, and someone couldn't have accidentally reached Laughtale by mistake. There's more mystery to the final island than Oda is letting us know. The levels of danger seem too calm. Now, what I thought was really funny is when Luffy was discussing beating Kaido and Big Mom and taking their road poneglyphs, in which he has already done, so which is pretty funny. And Nekomushi explains, just copy it. Nobody's actually lugging those things around, which is not the case because we know for a fact that Fishman Island's road poneglyph was taken, and someone who could have taken it is either Red Hair Shanks, who knew of its location, or the man marked by flames, which I will talk about soon. I also can't forget to mention how the Kozuki clan were the ones who carved the poneglyphs in the first place, and with both Odin and his son Momonosuke having the voice of all things, this could mean they are part of the Will of D, yet to be revealed. All I'm trying to say is Odin was destined to make it to Laughtale, and it makes sense that he was reading poneglyphs for Roger, something taught in his past generations, and Momonosuke would have learned it too if it wasn't for Odin's untimely death. Honestly, I believe the reason why Oda kept Odin's father alive is so he could teach Momonosuke how to read road poneglyphs too. So definitely want to say Momonosuke's story is not done yet. He might still have a big piece of the final saga, especially now him being an adult and all. 1 year before the God Valley incident, Roger and his pirate crew actually made it to the final island Lodestar, but realized it wasn't the final island, and then of course their log portals started to go haywire. This means everything after this event was connected to Roger trying to find a way to Laughtale, so he definitely learned things in his battle with rocks alongside Monkey D. Garp that would help him reach his goal. Roger then starts explaining to Whitebeard and Odin the same thing Inarashi explained to Luffy, which made me curious on how Roger discovered the truth of the road poneglyphs, and who in the past has known about this map to Laughtale and failed to reach the final island since the Void Century. And another big question, has there been people who made it to Laughtale but were too weak to escape the island? I'll explain that a bit later. Roger then explains to Whitebeard and Odin how the stories say there's a vast treasure awaiting on that final island, and the world government says don't go there, which makes it believable. Roger then says if we can get there, we'll be the greatest pirate crew in both name and fact, and also says something that makes Whitebeard laugh and Odin freeze. Yeah, Yamato confirmed it. It was the same thing that Luffy told Ace and Sabo that made them laugh, and Yamato cried when she realized that they shared the same dream. I wonder how this will all tie in with Laughtale when it's all said and done. I love how Oda made Kozuki Odin narrate his time reaching Laughtale with the Roger pirates, and he stated they learned the entire truth of the world. What the 100-year Void Century was, what the people of the D are, what the ancient weapons are, and how in the past Wano was open to the world. And finally, in the face of that vast treasure, which is very real indeed, Roger just laughed. This was probably the biggest mindfuck. Hopefully that gets bleeped in the editing. But yeah, Oda already confirmed the One Piece wasn't so Wizard of Oz friendship journey nonsense, and Whitebeard confirmed the One Piece was real before his death. But for Roger to laugh and for that to be what he ends up naming the island after was insane. It really makes me think, what was the original island name when Joy Boy reached it? Roger said a tale full of laughs, and he wished he lived in Joy Boy's time, which is a big contrast to Imu feeling Joy Boy's hockey and having PTSD. I wouldn't be surprised if Roger and his crew laughed and learned the truth about the world's mystery through someone sharing Joy Boy's tale to them. These people who live on Laughtale could literally be a part of the One Piece treasure, but this is just a theory I have born from the fact that Roger didn't take the treasure with them, the Roger Pirates. For all we know, Roger and Luffy's dream could be made true because of the islanders on Laughtale, but again, this is just a theory, not a fact. I thought I would just slip this in this video. Now, I have talked about Laughtale enough. Let's go a different route and mention the man marked by flames and how this character was recently introduced as the final saga began through Eustace Kid and Killer, two pirates who met their end to red-haired Shanks, who we know is not the man marked by flames, but with Elbaf seemingly being the big connection of everything, even having a man wait for Luffy and the Strawhats on Elbaf towards the end of Egghead Island, we can only expect the current arc to give us fans a better leads. Now, I must say, Kid saying they have no leads did make me suspicious, and why Oda is bringing this character into light now, there has to be a specific reason, as even Law and Robin seemed intrigued on this new development, as Luffy questions who this man was, and Law and Robin are very intellect, so the fact that they're questioning it is showing that this is a big deal. The only other pirate crew, in my opinion, capable of reaching Laughtale other than the Straw Hats is the Blackbeard Pirates. Now, I'm not saying the other two Yonko crews have no shot, but Cross Guild's powerhouse gave up on their dreams a while ago, and even Buggy recently got motivated through his Yonko status, and with red hair Shanks, he's running with into Marshall D. Teeth. That is, Oda has been building up for Luffy for years. I don't think Shanks will end up on top after that exchange and that battle takes place, which should be happening any minute now. But the Blackbeard Pirates during the time skip were explaining to Aokiji the 4 road Poneglyphs and how Big Mom and Kaido have one each, and Teach says he can't find the other two, and one is being held by the man marked by flames. Now, we know in the current story, Blackbeard now has the Kaido, Big Mom, and Zo road Poneglyphs through beating Law, so the man marked by flames gets even more important, honestly, through the discussions being had. It seems the Blackbeard Pirates were more worried about the man marked by flames than the two Yonko, and to me that is interesting. Now, Aokiji thought it was him, and Vasco Shaw was like, "You just got your scar, it can't be you," which I found funny, but also confirms it's now a flame. It's not a flame tattoo, and more likely a burn scar, which could mean Akainu has interacted with this dude. And Lafitte explained he rides in an all-black ship that sucks his enemies into a gigantic vortex, which to me sounds awesome. And honestly, Lafitte thinks it could be a Delphoot at play. Sure, the Rain believes it's a world government man, and his theory is probably to stop another pirate crew from reaching the One Piece the same way the Roger Pirates have. Shiryu even emphasizes the world government having dark secrets of their own, which he should know, having worked for them. Of course, Aokiji just thinks back to Ohara when hearing about Poneglyphs and changes the topic. But what if Aokiji has heard of the man marked by flames, a former Marine who turned freedom fighter? That had Garp so mad. And we know Akainu's obsession with Dragon, his face tattoo, and his wind powers he used versus Smoker, and the fire that was over Great Terminal. All I'm saying, it would be a great way to add Dragon into the final saga mix for the One Piece, and having Luffy and his father meet like this would be cool. Dragon seeing Luffy off before he gets to Laughtale, I can already see it happening. Now, during the final saga, we've been getting taboo subjects be mentioned all the time, from Imu saying it's Lily's fault for the Poneglyph spreading, and us learning Vivi's heritage as a Willie D member, to Vegapunk speaking over chapters and chapters and chapters about the truth of the world, especially the future of the One Piece world being into jeopardy because it could sink, and lastly, Joy Boy's Hawking being let out since the Void Century. All I'm saying is Oda's not playing around during the beginning of the final saga, but I think it's the man marked by flames that could just be a new character never talked about, never seen before, from an island never reached. Yes, that's right, I believe it's the strongest warrior from Laughtale, or should I say Laughtale, who could actually be the king of its people, and guaranteeing ties to Joy Boy through his ancestors. The people of Laughtale could be some special race like the Lunarians, or could be a human secluded from society all this time. And after Roger reached Laughtale and probably explained to the strongest warrior or king of this island that it was through the road Poneglyphs, he went to Fishman Island and chose to protect it until a man worthy arrived that what Roger, of course, was waiting for. And this man is marked by flames would have to be Yonko level, as the person worthy would have to be Roger's level in power, thus surpassing the man marked by flames. Many have already tried to take the road Poneglyph from the man marked by flames, judging off the way the Blackbeard Pirates described him, and many have failed, but Luffy won't, and I can't wait for this meeting to happen, and this could shape how the One Piece story actually ends. Yes, that's right, it can all be connected. It's Oda, for goodness sake.